Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. And today, for your Thursday, or maybe Friday, it's a Patreon cast between TY and Neeb. If you're seeing this the week of March the 1st, thank you very much for supporting me at patreon.com/FalconPaladin for at least $1 a month. You get to see this 1 month before anybody else. Alright, so bottom left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player Neeb, hailing from the United States, and in the top right, it is the blue Terran player TY. He is Korean, he is scary, he's one of the best Terran players on planet Earth right now, if not the best, honestly, based on performance at Katowice anyway. Now, this is from the Katowice qualifying rounds, of which there were about 800 of those, so IAM did a great job releasing all of the replays from that, but usually we don't get as many. So hopefully this is going to be a good game. I'm excited for it. The players involved are fantastic regardless. Probe moving across to see what's going on here on a Turtle Empire. And the SCB just dutifully building a barracks back home. No questions, no problems at all. No questions asked, I think it was what I was going for. But anyway, hit that like button if you're excited for this match. It's a PvT. I don't hear from many people who consider PvT their favorite matchup, which is fine. I know there are people out there who do consider it their favorite matchup, and that's who this is for. So Reaper, oh, there was a Reaper on the way. Now there's a Marine. Interesting. Why? Could the Reaper have killed the probe is the question. Oh, okay. Well, why switch to a Marine there? I really want to know, honestly. I mean, sure, the Marine does this, but the Reaper could do this too. Does the Marine build faster than the Reaper? Is that what it is? By, like, you know, a couple seconds, maybe? That might have been it. Anyway, expand coming up quite nicely for the Protoss player. No problems, no issues there either. Being left pretty much entirely alone here. And this is the peaceful time of the match, where nobody's really being harassed. Nobody's setting up any proxies. It's just we're macroing up. Having a good time, Stargate opening here from Neeb. Do I have an Oracle name? I feel like I have an Oracle name here that I've been sitting on for some time because we haven't had an Oracle recently. I do have an Oracle name. Okay, so we'll use it if that's what it is. I don't imagine it could be anything else, honestly, with the Stargate being the first tech of choice here from Neeb, but I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out together. That's what makes these games so gosh darn exciting. Hellions in production from TY. Can I tell you a sad story while we're bored here? Oh, I was casting a 37-minute PvZ between Whiteraw and Castro, the Peruvian Zerg player. And I finished it, and I went to hit end recording, and I was like, wait, where's my recording icon? Because there's a recording icon in the bottom right hand of the screen when I'm actually recording, and it wasn't there, and I was like, no. And apparently 6 seconds into the recording, my recording software, GeForce Experience, had crashed. That was it. Just died for no reason. Oh, the only indication was that the recording thing was missing, and I know you guys don't believe this, but I went through an entire 37-minute cast without seeing that green recording icon was gone. Just another day in the life of Falcon Paladin. So this Oracle that already has been doing some damage, her name is 2B. 2B is an android who thinks she is meant to kill a malfunctioning robot in the most stylish way possible to preserve the last remaining humans on the moon. However, her perception of reality is nothing but lies. After learning the truth, she went insane and launched herself deep into space. The Protoss picked her up, stuffed her into an Oracle, and once again her perception of reality is nothing but a lie. She thinks she now is again killing out-of-control robots, but unaware she is blasting organic life. Or perfectly functioning probes. That is a reference to the video game Nier Automata, which I've heard good things about. There is a PC port for that, but I heard the PC port kind of sucked. So never actually picked it up, unfortunately. Heard it was good. Good. I mean, not like ridiculously life-changing, but good. Anyway, a bunch of Marines out here. We got a Cyclone for TY, double Oracle. Okay, these Marines are dead. At least 2 of them. Maybe 3. Yep. And the Oracles get out of there. Just whittling down that Marine count is really nice. Really, really nice. Actually, TY might have changed his entire plans about moving out there. Based on the fact that he lost those 3 Marines, that is how close these games are. Third command center on the way from TY. Neeb going for the robotics facility. And actually, are we meching? Sort of. I mean, TY is going for Magfield Accelerator, which is very much I'm going a lot of Cyclone style of move here. I don't know. We don't see a lot of Mech versus Protoss, to be honest with you, but the fact that it's kind of a Skytoss play from Neeb means the Cyclones will trade pretty well versus these Phoenix and these Oracles. The Marines are good anti-air as well. The Banshee kind of sucks in the situation, but can maybe do some damage against the ground units of Neeb, of which there are not that many. Third base on the way from Neeb. The pressure is here from TY, though. Liberator coming up the other side, which the Phoenix are anticipating, actually, and should be able to shut down quite nicely. Alright, so bunker attempted to be set up here. No, how about, yeah, don't do that. Liberator shows up. Oh, no, you abandoned your post. Neeb! Neeb, come back. We need you. We need you to save these probes. Okay, well, 5 probes down. And the Liberator kind of escapes. Phoenix are so fast. So, no, it does not escape. Not even a little bit. Alright, so Neeb loses 5 probes there, which sucks, but he's okay. I mean, it hurt a little bit, but he was able to repel the ground attack of the meching stuff that TY is going for here. It's additional factories, man. This is mech. Who does this? I mean, Maru made a really admirable attempt to go mech versus Protoss last year sometime, and it sort of worked. TY thinks he can make it happen against Neeb, who's one of the best Protoss players on planet Earth. So I don't know what he sees, to be honest with you. Banshee's sharking around. Do Banshees shark? Or is there another verb that explains what they do more accurately? Maybe they shark. Yeah, Banshee dies to Phoenix because everything dies to Phoenix if you fly. Alright, they don't trade well versus battle cruisers or, I don't know, corruptors necessarily, although, man, can they do pretty well against corruptors if they're en masse and stacking. I see that more in team games, though. That's not really a 1v1 scenario, is it? No, Falcon. No, it's not. So, yeah, TY is doing this crazy mech thing. He's got Cyclones. He has a bunch of Marines, too. He's not just mech. But this is interesting. I like what he's doing. It's kind of an experimental play here from TY, I feel like. Yeah, that's double armory. He's going all the way into this. A little bit of Phoenix harass, killing a couple SCVs, making it happen, capping. The income advantage chart looks like, yeah, it's kind of back and forth right now. It was in Neeb's territory, now it's back in TY's territory. As his third base is up and being muled and whatnot. Neeb's fourth base, about 40% complete here. Army supply fairly even, but additional zealots warp in. And does turn the tide over into Neeb's side of things just a little bit. Warp Prism in production too. You definitely need that if you're going to be attacking. Already has one. Never mind, we're good. That could be a free Cyclone if you lift it and murder it, but nobody wants to engage there, so that's a pullback for sure. Yeah, man, this is just factory, all day factory. Got some Vikings. I guess maybe they're trying to chase off the Phoenix here and the Oracles and whatnot. Gonna go Archon, Zealot, High Templar with a few Phoenix. Hallucinated Phoenix cruises in, sees what we're dealing with, and it is a bunch of Vikings, which does not bode well for the Warp Prism at all. But just putting some pressure up here on TY's base allows Neeb to take his fourth base a little bit more easily and feel more comfortable doing it. I like it. I do. Army supply 89 to 72 in favor of the Protoss. He's got a big lead here. He's trying to sneak up and go for the double-pronged attack, which is always a good idea. Maybe trying to sneak up. Oh, man, that wall actually is a little bit of a problem for TY. He's going to go up this ramp, which is walled off, and come over this way, which is walled off. Trying to get some zealots around the other side. I don't think this is working all that super duper well for Neeb, but yeah, I mean, he's kind of locked out that way. The tanks are doing great against this army over on the other side. Archon dies, Sentry dies, and then finally the rest of the army shows up the other way, but it's just too late. If this had been an actual double-pronged assault where the army actually could have come up this ramp without being slowed down so much, I feel like this would have gone really well for Neeb, but as it stands, I mean, it was okay. It is, unfortunately, 47 to 20 army supply. Okay, all right. So Neeb is way down in army supply after that. That did not go well for him at all. Did he kill? How many SCVs did he get? I don't think any. During that attack, he did almost, well, he did 0 damage to the orbital, unless that got repaired, which I doubt. And TY's fine. He held that like a boss, man. Working on Infernal Pre-Igniter, is getting Drilling Claws for his Widow Mines, which we played a 3v3 the other day on twitch.tv/Falcon Paladin, where one of the people on the other team rushed Drilling Claws Widow Mines. It was like 4 minutes into the game, and there were Drilling Claws Widow Mines all over the place. It was dumb. It was not a bad strategy. In team games, it's actually kind of interestingly effective, but we ended up winning anyway. It was close. It was a close match. Neeb expanding down here to the 6 o'clock for a 5th base. I'm loving the macro out of Neeb today. Liberator shows up. Shield battery will not help you at all. Oh, but setting mid-range of a cannon will help. I mean, sure, some probes are going to die. I get it. Warp Prism dropping some Zealots into the natural, but there's army here with Blue Flame Hellions. But a large part of army for Neeb is sneaking on in. Kind of sneaking on in here a little bit to this 3rd base location. 4th base, landing. So 5 probes killed, but yes, the Liberator did end up getting killed itself. Unfortunately. Planetary Fortress coming up down here at the 4th base, which is when you can start making planetaries. Got Warp Prism again, just kind of hovering around, trying to be annoying. And then dying in the process. Zealots trying to jump on top of this army. The Widow Mines all fired on it. I'm assuming they all fired on those Zealots and reduced the number by quite a bit. Yeah, TY's up at 90 army supply to 56. Holy shamoly. Yeah, Neeb knows those Widow Mines are going to fire any second here, so he is definitely staying away from those. He doesn't have detection for them. Now he has an observer, and he's going to try to pick them off while holding off TY's army at the same time because, you know, that's what you do. Oh, that's interesting. The sentry beam is going through the ground at the Widow Mine there. What an interesting animation. I don't know about attacking into this choke, to be honest with you. There are a million Widow Mines. I think the observer got picked off, unfortunately for Neeb. My golly, is he expanded everywhere. He's at 72 workers. He's doing great economically. If we look at that income tab, it has definitely been favoring Neeb for the last couple of minutes here. Maybe not as heavily as it was a while ago, but still looking good for Neeb. Resources lost 15,000 for Neeb, 11,000 for TY, so Neeb definitely needs the additional income to stay in this game for how well TY is playing as far as keeping his stuff alive and killing what is Protoss. Scouting barracks exploded. TY's working on +2 vehicle, +3 attack for his Gateway Ground Army units here is Neeb, which is really impressive. A couple Widow Mines trying to sneak on down to this base at the 6 o'clock. And you know what? There's no cannons here. Just a regular old ground attack. How effective can this be? I guess we'll find out. Neeb attacking into the 3rd sensor tower down. Not sure he's going to accomplish much else, though. Not with all that is waiting here for him. And then the Widow Mines happily burrow themselves, taking out 3 probes, and then taking out 4 more probes for a total of 7. Immediately just starts a cannon and keeps working. No need to panic in this situation, Protoss players. I mean, maybe recall some Stalkers back with Observer support. And with Prejudice, execute that Widow Mine. So TY is up. Man, he's up in army supply pretty heavily. Worker count is about the same. Colossus, a bit of a tech switch here from Neeb. Going for those Colossus with extended thermal lance. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. Not going to be bad against the Hellions, really. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a Protoss go Colossus against a Meching Terran. To be fair, I haven't really seen a Meching Terran all that much. Oh, that was we did that. Special went mech versus, like stats or something? Man, when was that? A couple months ago now. So a bit of harassment here on the high ground. It does blink away, which the tanks show up. Trying to sneak on in here with a bit of a race car mech setup. Got Cyclones and Hellions sneaking on in. Colossus don't want to engage super early. They want to wait until that extended thermal lance is done, as it's not complete yet. Sandwiched attack. Blinking on top of the tanks, trying to, very smartly trying to get rid of the tanks. Oh, he does. He gets every single tank, but then 4 more come out of the factories. Okay, there's like actually 8 more. Okay, never mind. There are 100 tanks. For a second there, that was every tank. But now there are 100, or more specifically 13, which is effectively 100 in these situations. Oh my gosh, Neeb, he was so happy. I just got a ton of tanks down. They're good answers to my Colossus. Just make sure the tank count doesn't get too stupid high, but now the tank count is stupid high. So Neeb's like, how do I do this? More Colossus, maybe? More probes for better income? I mean, at this stage of the game, you're basically balancing how much army do I need versus how much economy do I need? And TY seems to be happy at 77 SCVs. He hasn't made one in quite some time and hasn't lost one in a while either, so I guess that makes total sense. Trying to sneak down, but again, the vision here is pretty good for Neeb, and he just absolutely shoves this attack back. No, you're fast, but we have better map vision than you. Another base for Neeb in the bottom right-hand corner. Blinkstalker is denying TY's attempt at a 6th. Yeah, command center down. Let's not push your luck here. Neeb decides, I don't have to walk into tanks or anything. That'd be dumb. And just recalls out of it somewhere. Oh, right here, of course. So army supply pretty dead even. Coming up again, trying to jump on top of those tanks, sitting in there, taking damage a little bit more than you would expect. Why is he not storm? He doesn't have storm. Is that the problem here? He doesn't have storm. He can't storm those SCVs. Is that an oversight is my question. I feel like that's a pretty massive oversight. If you're going to take down planetaries as Protoss, you want either a ton of Immortals, which he doesn't have, or storming the crap out of these SCVs, and then you can take it down. But without either of those things, I don't like what we're seeing here from Neeb all that much. Alright, so they're going to waste some attacks on that planetary fortress, I guess. There we go. Everybody working in concert here. Doing pretty well against the ground army. The Stalker count seems a little bit depleted. Trying to chase down Cyclones, trying to get rid of Liberators. They're getting massive hits off on those Colossus. Meanwhile, some harassment on the high ground is taken down by the tanks. This planetary, can it hold by itself? He's trying to use the Colossus on the SCVs a little bit. 10 SCVs have gone down recently. Another SCV down. That's 13 total, but he can keep this alive against the Colossus attacks. It does slow down the mining on this base, though. Neeb's in a pretty good spot, you guys. I kind of like what he's doing here. It's weird as a response to the weird stuff that TY is going for. But so far, resources lost, 32,000 for Neeb, 26,000 for TY. Still the same story, but having more bases and more income than the Terran player for some time now. Look at this. Look at, over the course of the last 10 minutes, it has largely been Neeb with a better income. According to that income graph, which, by the way, if you're wondering how come I can do that, it turns out if it's a game that was played with a Game Heart mod, then I can do it. If it wasn't played with Game Heart, then I can't. So if you're like, why isn't Falcon doing the income graph on some games, that's why. Because I can't do it, or I forgot. Which sometimes happens. Hee. Yeah, I think Neeb's done a pretty fantastic job not engaging into situations he's not in a great position. This is not a great position. Neeb, don't make me a liar. Boy, is he really trying to make this happen against a million high ground tanks right now. Don't do that. Goodness. So he walks out of there. Again, keeping the tank count as low as possible versus these Colossus is good. It is a good idea, but this cause reminds me so much of Brood War PvT with the number of tanks that TY is rolling with here. Feels like how Terran wins TVP in that version of StarCraft for sure. Blue Flame. The Blue Flame. Oh my gosh. Line them up. Line them up. Line them up. Meanwhile, this attack does force a liftoff of TY's 4th base or 5th base, whatever this is. So it's a base for a base, and his armor's over on this side. Oh, the SCV massacre is almost as bad as a probe massacre, but not quite. Almost, but not quite here, man. It's close on worker count, though, regardless, for both of these players. TY does manage to wipe out the bottom right-hand base and establish an upcoming planetary down this right side, too. Planetary down this right side, too. I kind of feel like it's not a bad place to attack. for Neeb. He's getting Immortals, which I think he should have been making a while ago, but it's okay. He's fine, honestly. He's warping in another base up on this left side. Man, this is close. I mean, TY is up in army supply by about 30, which is good. I kind of feel like Neeb's army is more cost efficient. Oh, the little race car mech army does manage to show up at this base without getting spotted early this time. Kills 3 probes, harasses the Nexus a little bit, but it's not really a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Neeb's expanding again. He feels extremely confident in his game right now. And I gotta say, with how this income tab has looked recently, I don't think he's wrong to do it. There's little bits where TY brings his head above the surface, but then it always goes right back down to Neeb. So economically, Neeb in as good a position as you're gonna be against a Terran player, as good as TY is. Neeb playing well. This is, again, a weird match. This is not a standard PvT by any stretch. But yeah, this, again, reminds me of Brood War. This is just million tanks, million Liberators. Got some Cyclones in the mix. Coming up to deal with reinforcements. I love this out of Neeb. This is a very Zerg thing to do for Neeb. Kind of dealing with the supply lines, wiping out army before they can make it to the frontier and reinforce it. Fantastical. Fantastical play, but maybe there's just too many reinforcements. Neeb says too many reinforcements. The Archons are such a great answer to this because nothing does bonus damage versus Archons in this army. Not the Hellions, not the Cyclones, not the tanks. I mean, sure, I say that, and then all the Archons evaporate, and TY gets the win as Neeb taps out in 21 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, I think that was his army getting wiped out there. Army supply is, you know, TY still has the lead. Did he feel like the Archons would do better than they did? I mean, army supply drops. It is dropping faster than TY's is, that's for sure. I mean, this stuff is happening. He can't do anything about... Oh, he does actually manage to get... I don't know. He's down at 22 army supply. That's it. At the end of the battle, it's at 22, so that explains a ton. Huh. Well, great job by TY, honestly. I felt like Neeb had that. And that's why we watched the games all the way to the end, right? Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, by the way. That was tons of fun. So, end of the day, one Nexus dies, a planetary fortress dies, a command center was killed, 2 command centers killed, 45 probes down for 39 SCVs. I kind of feel like that evened the score. Economically, Neeb was in a good spot. I don't know. Does it feel like a premature GG? It sort of does. How many tanks are left here? 10 tanks remaining for TY. It's only an Archon, an Immortal, and 4 Stalkers for Neeb, and he doesn't have a bank. So fair enough. It's a bit of a premature GG, but he saw the writing on the wall. It was going to be really hard to come back from this. And he decided he would rather not attempt it and move on to the next game, which is entirely fair. Entirely fair for him. So nice job, TY, getting the win with mech against an elite Protoss player. Terran fans rejoice. We don't see those a lot in the TVP matchup these days. So nice job. I mean, TY, a bit unorthodox. Again, we've seen the style before. Special's done it before. Maro's done it before. It's had some success. But a bit of a race car mech army running around. The tank count ended up being huge. 26 tanks died, and there were 10 at the end of the game. 36 tanks made in 20 minutes is a lot of tanks. And once that tank count gets high, it's hard for the Protoss to dislodge it. Good stuff, man. Really fun PvT. But that's going to be it from me today. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.